Hello and welcome to episode 158 of the HamCorp Training Manual. In this episode, we craft the UXV component assembly line and also start planning the route to Stargate. There's only one or two new things left to see at this point, and the rest of the series will just be infrastructure scaling. My dear employees, you are nearly fully trained and nearly eligible to apply for a chance at a salary. Rejoice! Starting off here in UXV, I need to do scans of every single UMV part so I can make the UXV ones. And let's also quickly go through all the different materials that are used in UXV crafts. Let's see. I'm going to need energized tesseracts. And I will have to do the assembly line process to begin with, because to make the component assembly line casings, I need some of these parts, right? But actually, let's look at the component assembly line, because this gives us a more easily readable breakdown of the items or fluids needed. So I need gold nanites, I need UHV circuits, tons and tons of UHV circuits, tesseracts, spacetime, MHD-CSM, mag matter, UMV superconductor, eternity, universium, and dim-shifted superfluid. Besides that, I'm also going to need UXV circuits and nuclear stars, along with a little bit of mutated living solder, which is kind of why at this stage in the game do I need this? Whatever. It's easy to make QFT. Also some UMV circuits, UIV circuits, and UXV circuits. So basically just a ton of circuits, some nanites, and all the endgame fluids, essentially, is all I need. I say all I need, but this is expensive. And for the component assembly line casings, I'm going to need, in addition to all of that, some black dwarf matter. That's pretty easy to get. I do need 43 of these to start, and then I can make another set of 43 later on once I already have one going. That is really going to hurt, because keep in mind, every single one of these magneto-hydrodynamically constrained parts, every single one, needs circuits and nanites. So yeah, I think the very, very first thing I do is upgrade my electric implosion compressor, because I need to switch to this recipe as soon as possible. This one is significantly better. It uses half as much universium. 50% discount is enormous. And for this, I just need UXV energy hatches, which I should be able to make now. It'll be a little expensive, but okay, well, the entire game is a little expensive, and at this point, it's a lot expensive. So I'm going to get to scanning. I'm going to make my first set of components here and slowly start making my way towards the UXV coil. Still a bit low on universium, and I need to build up some more to get these parts done. And I've realized I can make the humongous input hatch now. Funny enough, the main bottleneck here in my Eye of Harmony is that putting the fluids in takes forever, which is pretty funny. But the humongous input hatch is available now. It's pretty easy to make. Quantum tank 5, spatial fluid, UXV input hatch, and a UXV input hatch is just Quantum tank 1, some radox, and a UXV machine hull. It does need UXV power, but I have an LSAA, so I can double overclock that. Shouldn't be an issue. So, into UXV, and I have found some issues. Some infra issues. Specifically, the space elevator is just painfully slow. Now, I would love to make the tier 3 space assembler, but it can get a little expensive on universium. But it might just be worth it to speed up the process of making the component assembly line. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's gated behind the Koal quest, so maybe I'll just do it in order. I don't have to, but I may as well. And speaking of universium, it's been a few days now. Well, 1.5 days, but I'm up to 5.3 million liters of universium. I need something like 25 million. So it's going to be like a week until this is done, unless I make more astral arrays, which is something that I am currently working on, actually. And I found a few other weak points in my base. So phosphoric acid, for example, gets used a lot. And instead of just buffering it, I've decided I'll just make it on demand because it's so fast. But that means I need water. And currently my water source for AE2 is just a reservoir hatch, and that's not enough. 2 billion is not nearly enough. But luckily there is a ME Fluid Infinity Water storage cell. So I would like to make this. It's pretty cheap. It's nothing crazy. It's osmium, osmiridium, ceruclase, which I'm sure I have, but I've never used before. The hardest part, it's not even hard. The weirdest part of getting this is getting all of this water as a packet. But that's fine. All I need to do is encode a dummy pattern that uses this exact amount of water and put it into a normal interface. And then that should put water packets like this into like a chest or something. So I'll do that. I don't think there's a quest for this, surprisingly. I wish there was. But besides that, a few other things. Compression is a bottleneck. I only have one normal large electric compressor and one normal hot isostatic pressurization unit, and of course the black hole. I think I'm going to make a few more isostatic pressurization units because they're kind of good, but I'm also considering just putting my compressor recipes in the black hole. I don't know. Undecided which way I'm going to go. The black hole seems like overkill for a lot of these compression recipes. I don't know. There's also the solar light splitters that I've been making like this as a shaped crafting recipe, but this is too slow now, so I'm going to make them in an assembler instead. This should be much, much faster. Oh, and also these, the 16,000K ME storage components circuit assembler. There's actually nothing too bad with this. It's just I need to rewire some stuff. Everything's done here in a dual interface with a fluid handler subnet, but it should just be like in a cribs or crib buffer. You know what, let's take a quick look at the 43 component assembly line casing's cost. Let's see how close I am to completion. Honestly, not that bad. The most painful part is, of course, the universium. I need 27 million. I said 25 earlier, but it's 27. The stellar plasma mixture will come. It's just not an issue at all. Molten black dwarf matter. I have another set of 999s. And I have all the casings for an Eye of Harmony in a chest in the control tower. So I just need to quickly set that up. And then, after that, it's just a matter of making more astral arrays, I guess. And just to show you what I meant by getting the fluid packets out, let me show you. So let's do this recipe, right? I have a water chestnut seed. This isn't craftable, so I'm using it as a dummy item. And the input here is going to be water droplets. And the amount is going to be the 32-bit integer limit, which is 2 to 31 minus 1. And I just double encode this, and now I put this recipe in here, for example. And now if I request 24 water chestnuts, well, I don't have enough water, so I'm going to have to do this like one at a time. Wait, I don't have enough water at all. Okay, let's do it like this. So let's request 24 water chestnuts, ignore the missing items, and start. And now every time the water refills on the reservoir tank, I'm just going to pick it up and place it back into the system, and then it goes into the craft. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to get more packets like this, and they just go into the chest, and I can use them in the dyer recipe. And here we go. Infinity water storage cell. Unfortunately, not a quest, but this gives us infinite water. Let's see what this actually looks like. Where do I put this? Right here. Let's see. 2.1 P water. That's peta, so 15, I think. That's probably enough for the rest of the game. And I bet this just auto refills every now and then, so it is just infinite water. All right. Yeah, progress update on crafting. No update, just more crafting. Be back later. Hello. I have returned after another day and a half. I have basically just been waiting, but that doesn't mean I've been doing nothing. Check this out. So, now I have 9 astral arrays. So that's what I've been working on over the last 3 days, and it has made a massive difference. So, compared to my universium gain before I put in these astral arrays, I now have something like 8 times the universium per second and 8 times less power consumed, which is crazy. I have to run this at 0 overclocks though, because even 1 overclock, it's no longer 4 times as much power, because it's 4 times per parallel, I think. And there are 256 parallels, so it's like 1,000 times the EU cost. It's a lot more to turn on overclocks now. So this has to run with no overclocks, but it's still almost 8 times faster than what it was before. Now, when I put in these astral arrays, I had about 12 million universium in storage. Oh, well, I had just now 22 million universium in storage. It's been about 8 or 9 hours since I put in these astral arrays. And the reason I have 0 in storage is because I've started the craft for the component assembly line casings. I started it without having enough universium, so this will just fill in as I get the universium, and then the rest will be done. I figured I may as well start just to get the other things crafted along the way. But looking at these items, I don't think it's actually going to take that long. I think I'm just going to be waiting for the universium. And that's fine. But yeah, component assembly line is happening today, finally. Though I guess for you, it's all just been one episode. For me, it's been almost 5 days of crafting Gallifreyan parts and just waiting. Once that's done, I can make these two things, Mark III space assemblers, and the central graviton flow modulators for the third Godforge ring. These don't look so bad, actually. The worst part is probably just the UXV emitters, because these need so much MHDCSM and Universium, but it's probably okay. I could probably do this with a few hours of waiting. But for sure, I'm gonna do the space assembler first. The scan is a Mark II. I've already done the scan, and I've also encoded the pattern and put it in. It's a UXV craft, and I haven't upgraded my advanced assembly lines to UXV yet, so I'm just gonna do it in the regular assembly line, and it's fine. It's like a 2-minute wait. Or actually, for me, it would be a 60-second wait, because I've 8-hatched the assembly lines with UMV, so it's 1 overclock over UXV. I can wait 60 seconds. I've waited much longer than 60 seconds. 60 seconds is nothing now. And once those things are done, and even honestly, even the third Godforge ring is like a side thing. I don't think I really need it just yet. I'm gonna work on it in the side, but basically once the space assemblers are done, I'm gonna make quite a few of them. I'm probably just gonna make 24 of them and put them all on the same space elevator, because the Mark II ones are really bad. But once that's done, we start working on Stargate. And I guess maybe now is maybe a good time while I'm waiting for Universium to map out the materials needed for Stargate and see how many Stargate radiation containment plates I need and craft them all at once before continuing to the next parts. This is probably the majority of the time that it's going to take for Stargate, but maybe not, I don't know. I haven't looked too closely, to be honest. But I will do that right now. Oh my god. It's finally done. It's been a few more hours, and it is finally done. Now, I'm going to swap out these casings here for the UXV ones. Oh, that's going to feel so good. There we go. UXV coil. Amazing. Now, I do need to swap out the recipes. Or not swap out, but I need to add the recipes for the UXV parts into these crafting buffers. And then it's actually done. But now, the very first thing I want to do is make Mark III space assembler modules, and then we'll talk about the Stargate parts. I have mapped out all the items I need, so we'll come back to that in a sec. Alright, patterns have been encoded and moved. I am about to queue up 24 Mark III space assembly modules. And of course, I'm out of Universium. Luckily, I make it much faster than I used to, so 10 million is only going to take me like 8 or 9 hours. That's a lot, but like compared to what it used to be, that's okay. That's totally fine. How am I okay with an 8-hour wait now? I guess I've always been okay with that, to be honest. But maybe I can make just one. No, not even. Okay, well, I am gonna start this craft regardless and just get it going. 24 space assembly modules Mark III. They also need Mark V space assembler motors, which I don't think I have actually. So I need to make a Mark IV, scan it, encode the recipe, and then I can make some Mark Vs. This is pretty easy though. The only reason I held off on this so long was because it needed Universium, and I wanted to save all the Universium I had for this. But now that this is done, I can start spending it elsewhere. So I'll get that done. It's going to be a while. It's just a wait. That's all it is. But in the meantime, let's look at the Stargate itself. To unlock this quest, I need to do You Are Worthy. And that is a quest from the previous tier in UMV to make a Gigachad token. However, I do need 4 of these for the Stargate, actually. This is a pretty chill recipe, believe it or not. The tough part is obviously the time taken. The inputs are totally fine. It's just exotic catalyst. That's not an issue at all. It's just the time taken. 172,800 seconds with 0 overclocks is 48 hours. That's 2 days. That's a long time. But of course, I can turn on convergence, and that makes it perfect overclocks, and it shouldn't be an issue. How much power is this? 4,000 amps of UMV? Yeah, I'm going to get a couple of overclocks here. This should be much faster than 48 hours. I'll get started on that now. It's about time I make the Gigachad tokens. Besides those tokens, I'm going to need quite a bit more stuff. Unsurprisingly, of course. This is the final push. So unless I have forgotten to encode something here in the crafting chain, I think the total number of Stargate radiation containment plates I need is 124. This is astronomically expensive. I need almost 8,000 Gallifreyan stabilization field gens. I spent 3 days making like less than 1,000 Gallifreyan parts. So yeah, this needs some scaling up. The main problem with these was the space assembly. So upgrading to Mark III might fix that quite a bit. But yeah, this is how many I need. 124. That will complete this first quest. Well, I only need 1 for the quest, but I need 124 for the full gate. Next, I need a ridiculously large capacitor. Ah, wait a minute. There's actually more plates here. I didn't consider this. There's actually 172 plates. Oh god, that's 11,000 stabilization field gens. Okay, that's fine. Besides that, it's actually not that bad. Looking at it, the worst parts are definitely the plates. In parallel, I can also make the Stargate chevron. This needs some stuff. This needs Stargate chevrons and also Stargate frame parts to make the chevron upgrades. The frame parts are just a bunch of rods. This is actually not too bad. The only thing that I don't have access to is degenerate quark gluon plasma, which I can automate, which is, I think, the last automation challenge I have left to go. So I'll do that in the coming episodes. And the Stargate chevron is basically the same thing. Everything here is stuff we've seen before, more or less, and also QGP. After that, it's relatively smooth sailing, I think. Everything else is, I dare say, almost chill, because it's just putting together the parts at that point. So if I can get all of these containment plates and all of the quark gluon plasma, then that's basically it. The only other hurdle here is the Stargate crystal dust, because this needs a lot of grade 8 water. I'm going to need 128 billion liters of grade 8 water. So I should probably uncap my grade 8 water storage so I can start building up on that. And it also needs graviton shards and some particles. Particles are actually not an issue. I can get them from this QFT recipe, and in the future, I'll get them from the Large Hadron Collider. And graviton shards I can get from the Godforge now. This does mean I need to complete milestones, and I probably need to finish off the entire Godforge progression so I can get the inversion thing unlocked. So that's another thing on the list still, before I can make the actual final push here. But besides those things, I think that's kind of it. Everything else is, believe it or not, stuff you've seen before or adjacent to stuff you've seen before. It's just like a bunch of plasmas, a bunch of high-tier materials, a lot of magneto-hydrodynamically constrained stuff, which is all just, like compressor or implosion compressor with MHD, CSM, and Eternity. It's not really anything new. It's just kind of the same stuff, but just a lot of it. So yeah, so that's it. That is it. I gotta get to work. Let's start with the Gigachad tokens. I do want to see how long this is actually going to take with convergence on. It's probably going to be still quite a long time, but hopefully not 48 hours type of long. Oh wow, not bad at all. Just like 11 minutes. Cool. This will be done really shortly. Well, 11 minutes each, so it's going to be 44 minutes because, believe it or not, even now, I only have 1 DTPF on convergence. Uh-oh, wait, I think the other ones must have started the other Gigachad tokens, no? Ooh. Whoopsie. Well, see you next time. Thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will automate quark gluon plasma, set up the Mark III space assemblers, and start identifying and addressing processing bottlenecks on the road to Stargate. See you next time.